This video is an overview of the Foxwell multi-system scanner, the nt510, but it's loaded with the Porsche-specific software. In this case, we'll go over functions for the Porsche 997 model. I'm going to give you some different places that you can skip forward to in this video for areas of interest that you might have, because it's a little bit lengthy. So at the 1 minute mark, you'll notice that we'll do an introduction and go over live data functions. At the 4-minute 43-second mark, we'll go over special functions. For example, the ABS pump cycling for when you're doing brake fluid changes or bleeds. At the 6-minute 56-second mark, I'll go over vehicle data functions, specifically in this case over Rev Reports that a lot of people find interest in. And then finally, at the 9-minute 8-second mark, we'll go over coding specific modules. Okay, let's run through some functions on this Foxwell nt510 scanner that I purchased. I went ahead and had it loaded with the Porsche software because I want to use it on my 2007 Porsche 997S. So I've been shocked at the functionality. I've only had it for a couple of hours now, but I'll just walk through and just kind of show you briefly some things that it can do. First of all, you'll notice that it has regular Obd2 functions, so it can function as the latest and greatest Obd2 generic scanner to read codes, reset codes, monitor all the Obd2 live data, record it, all of that good stuff. So for that alone, actually, it functions pretty well. But let's get to the good stuff. So the Porsche specific software gives you that same ability to read all codes, but you'll get vehicle-specific trouble codes. You'll also get a ton more functionality. So you get a lot more sensor data. You have programming that you can do, and this gives you the different Porsche models. You can manually select, which I'll do. You can also just click auto, and it will automatically detect, from your DME what car you have and give you the appropriate choices then in modules. So let's start off. You have three, main, functions right now. You can go into programming, which I'll show you a little bit more of later. The first one, though, is diagnosis, but I mean probably diagnostics. And so this one will let you just you can do an auto scan, but let's go to control units and actually let's show some stuff off. So I'll give you an idea of what can be done here. So for example, if we go to the main control module, the DME, the main ECU in the car, we can look at a different live data to check out, and there is tons of it here. So as far as it's actually broken up into categories, the live data itself, so there's so much of it, they broke it up into categories. There's general, but like for this one I like a lot, it's temperatures. And so let's say if you were going to be changing your transmission fluid in a PDK car or a Tiptronic, that the temperature itself has to be of the fluid needs to be within certain, I don't know, I think it's 40, 60 degrees or whatever it is. But this will be able to tell you that. So for example, right here, the transmission fluid is saying is 69 degrees. Intake air temperature, obviously really cool to know, maybe if you're trying out some different intakes. Engine temperature, engine compartment temperature, I thought that was neat. I guess there's a sensor in there, I didn't know that. So ton of data there. Engine oil temperature, ambient temperature, what's probably 90 degrees or so. Yeah, we're in South Florida. So so anyway, there's just a ton of data here to include things like your ignition timing, let me think here, air fuel mixture. Yeah, oh, well, look at all this stuff. So air mass, ignition timing, camshaft adjustment, misfires, which that can be really helpful when you're doing diagnostics. So there's a ton of data here. Okay, here we're going to go through, this is on the Porsche 997S, the 2007. We're going to go through and show you how to do the ABS pump cycling. This is particularly helpful if you get any air in the system or have to replace master cylinder, this kind of thing. You can cycle all the brake fluid out of the pump and get any air out of it. So let's go to diagnosis. And we're going to go to the control units, which I think what they mean by that is modules, the control modules. And then we're going to go to the PSM. And now it's going to go into PSM is in diagnostic mode. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to go and do an active test. And pump motor activation. Okay, that's the ABS pump. And how we can know that's true is because you're going to hear it in a minute. So I'm going to be quiet and listen for the ABS pump. Very clear, very clear. And so that works. We'll do it one more time. Okay. So that cycles the ABS pump. There's a different mode too here, which I wanted to show you. It's pretty cool. This one says special function, and we'll go down to there, and look, it says bleed. So you can do calibration too, but bleed, if you press on that, this I believe will help you do your own kind of brake bleed. Cyclically actuate brake pedal throughout entire ventilation process. A ventilation device with 2-bar admission pressure must be used. So I don't know, it's interesting. So that'll help you with the brake bleed. I don't know if I'll try that or not, but it seems cool. Okay, this time what we're going to look for here is running what we call an Rev Report, right? So this is for the Porsche 997S again. Many people who are looking to buy a car want to know how many times, you know, the engine, if ever, has gone over the red line. So for a manual transmission car, if somebody downshifted into the wrong gear, too low of a gear, the engine may have spun past the red line, and people want to know, did that happen? For how long did it happen? And so they get Rev reports run. Usually they go to a dealership for this, or they rent a tool or what have you. Well, this appears to completely do that as well, so that's cool. What we're going to do is we're going to select the module called DME, okay, right? So that's the standard ECU there. Then we're going to go down to, I believe it's special function, and okay, and then we're going to go down to vehicle data. So this stuff, you just kind of, you get used to it. I've only had this now for, like I said, like a half an hour, so I've just been going through stuff and looking, and it's incredible how much this has, how much capability this device has. I'm extremely impressed with it. So I thought that I wasn't able to find, you know, and get certain functions to work, like ABS pump and all that stuff. It does. It's all there. It's just I was looking in the wrong place. So here you go. Number of ignitions, range 1. So these are all like the normal, just up to red line, 1 and 2. And this is actually an automatic transmission car, so you'll see that's, you know, driven up to red line often enough, but probably not too long ago, really. And then, but you'll notice anything after, you know, it doesn't go above red line. So, and this car won't. So you'll see, obviously that's the case here. None of them in range 4, 5, 6, or 3, I think, too. And then it tells you the operating hours and everything. Tells you a lot. You know, it tells you. Anyway, this thing gives tons of information, and I'll keep updating you guys. Okay, and now we have both the driver's side and passenger side buckle coded to no, and we did that. And so now what I was getting last time, is that we had a little airbag light show up, but that is just because we coded the module. It will go away. So let's back out of all this stuff, and we'll back out of all this. Oh, so you sure? You sure you want to back out? Yes. Yes, I'm sure. All right. Now we've done that. Now the airbag light it'll make you, oh no, the airbag light is blinking, and this is passenger airbag off, and it's showing, but it's all good. It's fine. It just had to code. It had to relearn itself, and took, you know, all of what, maybe 10 seconds there. And now we're in the car. We don't have our seatbelt on, and the chime is not going to go crazy. Now, I always drive with my seatbelt, of course. I encourage everybody to do that. But like I said, I have a mailbox that is quite a ways away down the road. Not really the road, down the driveway. And I like to go back and forth to it. And it's kind of what I look forward to. And so I don't like it going crazy. And you know, if I'm sitting in the car for a while or whatever, I don't have to worry about it, and it doesn't ding, ding, ding. And even if you're working on the car inside of it, that little noise can drive you nuts. So that coding worked. Let's try some other stuff. Okay, so the next coding, here we can see the turn signal on the car. And this, from what I understand, it should be the standard way the turn signals work. You got a turn signal in the front of the car, you have a side marker, that is there, it's a live side marker. But it, of course, doesn't go on with the turn signals from the factory. It may in Europe. I don't know what the programming is over there or other countries. But in the United States, it does not appear to do that factory. So if we wanted it to, just to get a little extra maybe side visibility, if somebody, you know, was kind of sitting with you more like this, and it lets them know you're kind of coming over on them, let's see if we can do that. Okay, here this time we are going to go to, I'm actually going to set it up for you guys, and so it takes a little bit less time. Hold on. Okay, here we go. We're going to go to programming. We're going to click enter, and we've got a lot of choices here. So really, there's a lot of possible programming functions. I'm not going to go through every single one because this video would take forever. But we saw the seatbelt one worked, so that's a really common one. If that didn't work, then you know we'd say there's probably not a lot of usability out of this. But let's now look at other really common ones that they should have pretty much nailed down with the programming. So the the turn signals. We can do a couple of things, I hope. One of them would be making that side marker become a turn signal, and so that's always nice. Maybe a little additional safety there, I don't know. The other thing is to actually reprogram them as LED bulbs. So I don't know if you guys have ever tried putting LED bulbs in the side markers. If you don't reprogram the system, look at the actual bulb when the LED is out. It's not fully out. It will show it will still be dimly lit. And so this is, quite, quote unquote, the proper way to put LED side markers in the car, is to program them in for it too. Okay, anyway, as you can see, we're going to go down here, and I'm going to try and find, excuse me one second. Okay, I found it. It appears to be the side marker or flasher repeater, and so we're going to just click enter on that, and it's going to give us an option, or I'm sorry, we're going to click edit on that. How about we click edit? Alright, and you see how it says side marker. So basically, it's very abbreviated, but what it's saying is, hey, is it a side marker or is it a flasher? And right now it's saying it's a side marker. That's what it's acting like right now. So we'll click edit to that, and we're going to say, no, it's not a side marker anymore, it's a flasher. Alright, so let's click enter there and see if that works, and then click finish. Okay, hold on, I'm going to put the date in. That takes forever. Okay, so it's asking now if we are ready to accept the programming. We're going to click OK, and communicating right now. So right now it's rewriting the module. Code completed. Alright, now let's see if that's really true. Alright, so let me back up out of here. And let's see what happened. Let's see if it actually happened without restarting the car too. I know some people say you shouldn't reprogram these modules while you're, doing this with the car on and all that, but I don't know. Alright, so, hold on. Okay. Haha. Better. That was literally 1 second later. I went and I turned the turn signal off and turned it right back on, and it recognized it. So I had the turn signal on, I had left it on. So there you go. As you can see, you're getting double your turn signal action there. Let's see if it still will act like a side marker too. I don't know if it will or not. It probably won't, but Let's see here. Turn the lights all the way on and see if it behaves like a side marker. No, it doesn't. So it's a turn signal. You get one or the other.